So my question is this, based on Warner's assessment and, help me out here. Based on Warner's assessment, if we were to table this, we would have to have a special meeting because we've already committed to the community that if in the event we found out we did not get grant funding, we were ready to move. And we have quotes from other companies and they vary, right? And there's 3 out of the 4 that are in our budget. And because we're a budget-focused board, and unfortunately that's the nature of where we're at today, anything above that, Warner, is hard to sustain or to accept because we have a budget and we said this was the amount for this. And so I understand what you're saying, but if we were to table it, we'd have to schedule it. How soon could you get this, how soon can we get this sheet updated and with the accurate numbers so we can see what the bottom line is? And we'd have to have a special meeting, like, because we have to move on this.
There's no problem.
We've already waited a year and a half, so we cannot wait no more.
I have no problem explaining to the community about exactly, you know, and I would take that burden on to explain exactly the details. I mean, there are a lot of technical mumbo jumbo involved, but you know, I'd like to be able to offer that experience, expertise in this area to be able to push us in the right direction. I know we've been waiting, and it's very important that we move quickly. However, there are some red flags that worry me. You know, again, the initial investment I'm seeing is $52,500. If we need to find $2,500, I think for less than 5% of the overage, I think that's something that's important for the future.
But this is what has gotten.
What is the over cost, though? I mean, isn't there? I mean, through the graph, isn't there like a 5-year cost analysis that goes up to?
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't. So in technology, you can't go above 3 years. I mean, if you go to 5 years, your technology changes so quickly. It's hard to even know what pricing is going to do.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Yeah. You know, at the conference, I'm not trying to. At the conference, when I talked to these gentlemen, Reveal 5, and we had. Actually, I guess John reached out to them and got some information from them, and he knew who we were and was talking about it. And, you know, he was saying about some of the simple fixes that, you know what I mean? Like you're talking about the backup, where if the phones go down, I mean, he's saying that all of them have where you could have a designated DSL line, like from Comcast or something, just to connect. You have another thing where you have a backup system of where it's where we have now the cell phone.
Sure.
With that too. Right. So I mean, that's what this gentleman was saying. So I don't know. And you said it yourself. In 5 years, everything changes so quickly. So I mean, is it going to last the 5 years? This other system?
Yeah. I mean,
are we going to have to?
So nowadays, the way the systems are built are that, especially this Cisco solution has been in place for a long time now. The model they're moving towards is subscription based. Eventually, you pay support, and that's built in there. You pay for support, and hardware is so powerful now that the upgrades in hardware don't have to happen as frequent. The hardware that this is built on, we're talking 5 to 10 years longevity at minimum.
The Cisco system.
The Cisco solution, yeah.
Right. Okay. So
it's very robust.
You're talking you're talking also that then the equipment or whatever parts to buy anything has to go to them, and they have the proprietary rights on it, which we've been bitten in the.
Well, that's all
derriere from our mechanics that we have and stuff now too.
Right. No, I mean it goes. I mean. All providers have certain proprietary pieces to it, but it's all standards-based computing technology.
Right.
But the solutions you're talking about, the DSL backups, that's what I was talking about with having the network redundancy, network robustness of a network, and that requires professionals in the field. You know, you have to have people that are engineers to make sure that's working. You don't just have like a backup internet connection and you just plug it in. That's very, you have to have it automatically.
I know it wasn't as simple as what he made it out to sound. Like,
because
right,
they're doing it,
right.
they're trying to sell
their product.
Their product, which, again, the advantage that we have is that, I mean, I know how this stuff works. A lot of districts get, you know, bit in the butt because they don't know, so they get shown that these cloud solutions are effective without doing a lot of the back end. And that back end is what we don't have, and it's a very important piece. Otherwise, again, the internet goes down and you're waiting for 48 hours to get a resolution. In the meantime, you don't have any phones.
Because we have a motion on the table to table this, and then if we don't table it, we can still have another discussion to vote on it. So just want to be, I'm sorry?
I had a quick question.
I'm sorry.
Before we go that far. What's the install time on the system you're recommending? You know, approximately?
So what we were dealing with, the vendor we were dealing with, we discussed the solution based on what the time constraints are. So using the existing phone circuit, which is going to cost us a little bit, but using that additional circuit doesn't make us have to go get another circuit from another vendor. To get a circuit from a phone company requires, they always say 60 to 90 days. I think Lungate put in 60 days, but this equipment is, I mean, I don't want to promise anything specific because it's always, you never know, shipping can be a problem, but the system that we have here is pretty readily available. It's nothing special. So once the purchase order is put in, the equipment can be purchased. The planning can all be done ahead of time. So I mean, you can say 60 days, but I would say that letting the community know where we're at and that we have a clear roadmap, and then explaining that, we can explain that it could be less than 60 days. But 60 is a very conservative number. I mean, you can get the equipment in here in 3 weeks. To build it and do all of the other work could take longer.
So any other? Frank,
I have one last question.
Go ahead.
My biggest concern is about if the internet goes down, that we're not able to dial 911.
On all the
And we're
services,
talking-
that's correct. You wouldn't be able to do
I'm
that.
sorry?
On all three of the services, that would be correct. Unless you put in, you correct me, I'm not an engineer, but unless you put in a backup system.
Correct.
So there's 3 backups, 2 backup. You can do DSL, which I don't think is available in Orange, but you can also do a cellular system. That's how the phones, the fobs are working right now. So we have a prepaid, the device you put on, you buy a prepaid card, phones go off, you'd be able to call it. But all 4 of these systems are internet based. The big difference is that one is being provided by Comcast, which is our provider right now. The other one would be a dedicated line, which is a, what's the word I'm using?
PRX.
It's a PRX line coming in from the phone company. Different frequency, different type of network out there. So no matter which one it is, if the internet goes down, you're using your cell phone. So that's the problem. So go ahead now.
So
Okay,
let me just add to that real quick. So the difference is that the internet is, so Comcast internet is, it's a public internet service. So that versus the PRI that we have with AT&T is, in fact, it's a positive thing actually in this scenario. PRIs are regulated by the state. That's from old regulations. So when they go down, the service level agreements that are in place, which means when you call, what's the mean time to resolution, are very much reduced versus internet solutions. So if the internet goes down, it's not considered detrimental, but phone service going down was regulated at one time, and that regulation has passed over. So if PRI goes down, AT&T has to get that up pretty quickly based on their service level agreements, which is regulated by the state. But the internet service is not. So that would be a caveat. If the internet went down, in just a single school, we wouldn't have any outage. If the internet went down and we were using that to bridge the 2 schools together, which is probably what we would do, you would lose connection to one of the schools, but the phone connection would work. You'd be able to call out. You just wouldn't be able to. I mean, there's lots of ways to design it, but
The other half of my question is that, so if we go with the cloud-based, and the internet goes out, is this something that we internally would be able to handle and switch it over to using the prepaid? Is that something, I mean, that John would be doing? And how does that?
So my understanding, and once again, I am not a network engineer, is that you would build a system where it would automatically turn on.
Who builds it?
I would assume that it's John and whoever company that we decide to use.
Okay, and
It's
in the
not gonna
event
be-
because John he wanted only in his
Well,
department,
Ring
and
Central
he
doesn't do
wasn't
that.
there, you know what I mean? Is there a backup to?
They don't do that.
We don't have a backup to our backup.
No.
I mean, when I say backup to our
Well,
backup,
I like-
John,
John is his one and only,
Right.
he's the department,
Right,
and if
he's
he
the
goes on
department,
vacation.
right, he does, and that's why he goes only in the summer, you know, when
With
everything's
his
down.
laptop.
But that's where the difficulty comes in. We are a school district that is very mindful of our budget, and we have people wearing multiple different hats. The issue that the issue that I have with this is that for me, this is not which system is better than the other. It's budgetary, and that's hard, right? Because everything that Warner is saying is very valid. It's very valid. But the problem comes in, it's budgetary. And so just to kind of give you an example, Ring Central comes in at 1 year's pricing, roughly $23,000. For a 3-year total cost, I'm gonna round up $52,000. This is only for Giles. What's the other one?
Well, you double it for
Right, oh,
Lee.
right. The next one is Sentinel. It's $32,000 for the first year, and then it rounds up to $60,000 for 3-year total. The other company is was it All Connect or All Cord? It's roughly $52,000 versus $89,000 for 3 years, and then Longate is it's $73 versus $119. And so, which are big number differences is that
73 is not the right number. That's what I'm trying to say.
and I get it, but this is the number that the owner sent to the district.
They just sent the email, the updated email at 2 in the morning. 73. I looked at the quote, and I deal with this system all the time, every day. So the numbers I put
get it.
together were not 73.
So I mean, would you say that the number's going to be closer to 25,000?
It was 52.5, but again, you're not comparing apples to apples. You can't compare a cloud solution for the first year, which is based on 1 year of usage. Those systems are all pushed out into 3 years. You can't compare it.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Warner. And
I know
to me, it's a budget. Is any of these 4 systems better than what we have right now? The answer is yes. The question is that it's, what happens if the internet goes out and you need to dial 911? What happens how long is it going to take to install it, and what does it cost?
I would never suggest a school district or a park district or any mission critical organization to go with a cloud-based communication system unless their network infrastructure was robust and redundant, and that requires a network engineer. Now, I can do it, but we have to pay money for that too, cost of equipment.
I get it.
I mean, I would do it, but when we look at things like this, it's very important to look at the apples to apples comparison and the reality. The disadvantage that we have is that most people have is that they don't know the nitty-gritty pieces of technology. I do, so that's why I wanted to offer to the.
Okay. So the motion on the table is to table E currently, and so if the motion passes, then it would table until next month or whenever. If it does not, the motion does not pass, then we go to the vote. So you motion.
And I'll make myself available for a special meeting for you.
So you motion. Who seconded it? Was it? I'll second the motion. So let's have a roll call on tabling it.